Welcome to my channel. Today we're diving headfirst into the wildest alternate worlds, the craziest power-ups, and the most unforgettable adventures. From overpowered heroes to comedic chaos, these are the top 10 Isekai anime you need to watch. Let's jump straight in. Starting off our list is A Wild Last Boss Appeared, a fresh twist on the fantasy and gaming-inspired Isekai genre that keeps viewers laughing while delivering high-stakes adventure. The story follows a player who finds themselves reincarnated into the game world they once dominated, as the powerful final boss. But things aren't as simple as they seem. Navigating this new reality, they must adapt, maintain their strength, and interact with both allies and unexpected challengers. Packed with clever strategies, comedic moments, and unexpected twists, the anime blends action, humor, and the thrill of being the most powerful figure in the world, while still figuring out what it means to live in it. If you enjoy overpowered protagonists, witty humor, and adventurous worlds with a twist, A Wild Last Boss Appeared is a must-see. Coming in at number 2 on our top 10 list, we have Skeleton Knight in Another World, a unique twist on the isekai genre that blends adventure, mystery, and epic fantasy. The story follows a player who wakes up in a new world, but there's a catch. He's trapped in the body of his in-game character, a fully armored skeleton knight. Despite his intimidating appearance, he quickly discovers that appearances can be deceiving. As he navigates this strange world, he helps those in need, fights dangerous creatures, and uncovers mysteries about this new realm, all while trying to stay true to his own values and keep his identity hidden. The anime balances action, humor, and heart, giving us a protagonist who's both powerful and surprisingly relatable. If you love high-stakes adventure, clever strategy, and a hero who proves that sometimes brains and heart are just as important as brawn, Skeleton Knight in Another World is definitely worth a spot on your watch list. Coming in next on our list, we've got an isekai that proves even another world can't save you from corporate misery. The Dungeon of Black Company follows Kinji Ninomiya, a guy who had life completely figured out, rich, lazy, and living in luxury thanks to some clever investments. But just when he thinks he's got the world beat, he's suddenly transported to a fantasy realm and immediately shoved into the lowest rung of a brutal mining company. Here, monsters aren't the only danger. Exploitation, overwork, and corporate greed are the real boss fights. Kinji, who once avoided effort at all costs, now has to scheme, bargain, and hustle his way out of the fantasy equivalent of a sweatshop. And of course, he meets a chaotic cast of allies and weird co-workers who make his climb to freedom even more unpredictable. Fast, funny, and surprisingly sharp, this anime takes the isekai formula and flips it into a satire about capitalism, with plenty of adventure and comedy along the way. If you're into isekai with humor, attitude, and a jab at the 9-to-5 grind, The Dungeon of Black Company earns its spot on our list. Let's move on to the next pick. Up next, No Game No Life follows Sora and Shiro, two shut-in siblings who are absolute geniuses at every game they touch. Online, they're known as Blank, a legendary duo with a perfect win record. One day, they get pulled into a vibrant fantasy world where every conflict, from tiny disagreements to nation-level battles, is decided through games. No violence, no war, just pure strategy. With their insane teamwork, quick thinking, and love for competition, Sora and Shiro take on challenges that push their skills to the limit. The show stands out for its bright visuals, sharp humor, and clever game-based storytelling, all without giving away any major twists or matches. If you love high IQ mind games and over-the-top style, this one's definitely worth checking out. Coming in 5th on our list, we've got an isekai that mixes comedy, magic, and total social awkwardness in the most overpowered way possible. How Not to Summon a Demon Lord follows a quiet, antisocial gamer who dominates an online fantasy world under the name Diablo, the so-called Demon Lord. But one day he's suddenly transported into that world as his in-game character. And the twist? Two girls accidentally summon him while trying to make him their servant, but thanks to his insane magic abilities, the spell reverses, and they become bound to him instead. Now stuck in a world that treats him like the most powerful being alive, Diablo has to keep up the act of being an unstoppable demon lord while secretly panicking inside. What follows is magic battles, wild misunderstandings, and a ton of hilarious moments as he learns how to interact with people for the first time, without blowing the world up by accident. It's fun, ridiculous, and perfect if you like overpowered leads with a heavy dose of comedy. If you're into Isekai power fantasies that don't take themselves too seriously, this one definitely earns its spot on the list. Coming in at number 6 on our list is The Beginning After the End, a captivating blend of fantasy, adventure, and personal growth that keeps viewers hooked from start to finish. The story follows King Gray, a powerful ruler who gets a second chance at life in a completely new world filled with magic, kingdoms, and incredible creatures. Reincarnated as Arthur, he must navigate this vibrant world while learning to master his newfound abilities, make allies, and uncover the secrets that shape his destiny. The anime balances epic battles with heartfelt moments, giving us a protagonist who is strong, clever, and surprisingly relatable as he grows into his new life. If you love stories about second chances, magical adventures, and heroes finding their place in a new world, The Beginning After the End is definitely a must-watch. Next up on our top 10 list is The Saga of Tanya the Evil, a gripping mix of military strategy, magic, and ruthless ambition that keeps you on the edge of your seat. The story follows Tanya, a young soldier in an alternate world caught in a massive war. Despite her youthful appearance, Tanya is a tactical genius, using strategy, cunning, and magical combat to survive the battlefield and climb the ranks. The anime explores how far someone will go to achieve power and security in a harsh, unforgiving world. With intense action sequences, clever planning, and a protagonist who's equal parts brilliant and terrifying, it delivers a tense and thrilling ride from start to finish. If you enjoy high-stakes strategy, relentless ambition, and a story that blends magic with military warfare, The Saga of Tanya the Evil is a must. Making its way into our top 10 with more stat points than your average hero is Ugly Mug, Epic Fighter, a wild isekai where being ugly is your superpower. Meet Shigeru Yoshioka, a 34-year-old ex-salesman whose life gets ruined after a false accusation. He becomes a recluse, but gets a second shot when he's offered a one-way ticket to another world. Here's the twist. He trades away his looks, giving himself a negative 255 in appearance, to max out his stats and become absurdly powerful. In this new world, he isn't just strong, he's basically a god, with overpowered stats. But power comes with a catch. His restrictions are brutal. For example, even touching a girl causes him pain, and more. Let's say intimate contact is off the table. Despite this, he forms a party with other transmigrators, like Seika and Seiji, and balances his godlike strength with his self-imposed social handicaps. The show mixes action, fantasy, and a surprisingly emotional core, exploring shame, strength, and redemption. If you're down for a goofy but deep isekai with a hero who's powerful, flawed, and hilariously tragic, Ugly Mug, Epic Fighter deserves a spot on your top 10 anime list. Coming in at number 9 on our top 10 list is Apocalypse Bringer Minagra, a dark strategy isekai that redefines what evil empire can really mean. Takuto Aira was a top-tier player of a strategy game called Eternal Nations. After dying from illness, he wakes up in that game world, but not as a hero or a villain he once controlled. Instead, he's reborn as the ruler of Minagra, a feared civilization of ruin. By his side is Atu, his loyal, otherworldly retainer and one of his favorite in-game characters. Rather than unleashing destruction for its own sake, Takuto wants to build a place of refuge. As refugees from different races flock to Minagra, He faces external threats and moral challenges, all while consolidating power and navigating a world that judges him harshly for being evil. It's not just about conquest, it's about survival, identity, and the fine line between terror and protection. If you're into tactical world building, morally complex leaders, and a strategy game turned real-world epic, Apocalypse Bringer Minagra deserves a spot on your watch list. Sliding into our top 10 with all the calm power of a river is The Water Magician, a chill yet surprisingly deep isekai where magic flows like, well, water. The story follows Rio, a young man who's reincarnated into a fantasy world called Phi. He's granted the ability to wield water magic, but don't expect epic fireballs. At first, he can only conjure a cupful of water at a time. He dreams of a peaceful, laid-back life. But the remote land he's dropped into is anything but safe. Wild monsters roam, the terrain's unforgiving, and survival is hard. Yet Rio isn't just any mage. He's secretly ageless thanks to a hidden trait called eternal youth. Over the next 20 years, he quietly hones his water magic, learning to draw from moisture around him instead of wasting power. But his peaceful journey takes a turn when he meets Abel, a skilled swordsman, and together they begin a new chapter that could shift the balance of this magical world. If you're into mellow yet thoughtful isekai, clever magic systems, and a hero who grows without losing his chill, The Water Magician is definitely one to watch. And there you have it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more anime breakdowns.